dear international guests, speakers, organizers, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to organizer for invitations to participate and to give the opportunity to share my thoughts in the second Tolerance Forum at Bremen. I am an activist, so I'm going to give my speech not in the academic way, very activist way through our experience. India is not only the world's largest democracy with the 1.25 billion people, but also one of the most volatile society due to the right-wing extremism, left-wing extremism, and a lot of dangerous contradictions and conflicts. Today, India's fault lines are increasingly defined by a force for which the country has invented a new bit of the political phenomena named as saffronization. Saffron is the color of the robes worn by the Hindus' religious leader. So saffronization has been coined to mean a drive to foster upper caste Hindu values and the practice even to give them the force of law. By the same logic, saffronization also connotes efforts to reduce the profile of other religion and to curb any difference shown them by the state. Saffronization has become more or less official national policy now since the rise to the power last year of Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, under the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The BJP is a political arm of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, named as RSS, which is founded in 1925, a right-wing nationalist movement they are very similar to Egypt Muslim Brotherhoods. India's rising saffron tides not only has alarmed other faith community, but it is also irritates secular and the atheist Indians who support the separation of religion from the state. It is very, very important to understand when we have the very strong independent movement in 1857 against the British colony. That time, there is a few Hindu leaders from the upper caste, they thought they are losing their powers because few phenomena are happening real in the near to Mumbai, in Marathwada area of the our country, because there is a very, very, very strong movement by the lower caste people, Dalits, like Dr. Ambedkar, Periyar in the south, and the Jyotiba Phule, Savitriba Phule, a strong feminist movement, and that created to challenge and the curb down mind of caste and the patriarchy in our country. So few people come together from especially Nambudriprat clan of the Brahmin in one area, and they founded RSS. And they are headquartered in Nagpur. Most important thing, that time they make an alliance with, very strategical alliance with the British colonial states, and nowadays they are going to collaborate with the new corporate forces of India in the era of neoliberal policy. And if you look by this new way, Indian leader tried to create, especially from the sectarian thinking, to create a good investment climate for the big corporations, allow them to play their dangerous economic game with all rights and no duties, and with a few and control popular propaganda. So India is a beautiful dream for the transnational companies and daily nightmare for the rural and urban worker. Furthermore, we should understand that this situation is dangerous. Not only this seemed to foreshadow the establishment of a authoritarian regime which allowed the brutal political repression with the impunity, but also because this political impunity is put in the place alongside with the implementation of the economic policies of the corporate impunity. So nowadays, India with the Hindutva's force, upper caste Hindutva force, and through the corporate impunity, they are creating a new form of corporate fascism in our country. And that time we started to think about the American thinker, Barbara. He gave his quotation in this way: democracy prefers market, market doesn't prefer democracy. So people like me living in Varanasi, very holy city, we are thinking about that. Another hand, India has lived for the hundreds of years on the strict and rigid social hierarchy based on the Brahminical stream within the Hinduism, not all Hinduism, because within the Hindu religion there is a two stream from the Rig Veda. One is the pyramidal system by the priest, and there is a Lokayat. He created the Lok means people, Ayat means everybody is equal, means the Shraman culture, culture of inclusiveness. And that culture of inclusiveness, Shraman culture, then Buddha came, Saint movement came, and then Islam joined, Christianity joined, then secular values joined, just like European values of human rights and democracy. So for that reason, Hindu fascist forces are very much against that. But the story does not stop here. But all those culture of impunity which allows to minority group to govern and exploit the majority of the people can be partly questioned by civil society and protest movement who want to resolve this cognitive and social pyramid, or at least flatten it. For those reasons, power holders use many means to divide lower caste majority and divert them from a key issue that face India through the sectarian hatred and ensure their freedom to act as a leader by enact draconian law to so-called protect people from the sectarian terrorism and that they contribute to create themselves. The most important thing I will tell you here, this upper caste people, just Modi, he is responsible of killing of 2,000 people in the Gujarat. But they are not looking what is the reason behind that. So the political impunity and economic impunity are two coins of same social impunity coin. And social activists and lower castes who want to defend right of the Dalit and tribal critique the system are beaten by police, army without any respect of their humanity, while neoliberal policies allows upper caste and the big corporations to make profit with the all impunity, because people fighting each other for the religious issue or because they don't dare to attack the Brahminical sectarian power in our country. In this division process of the purest majority, those who try to keep their power use classical method in order to conserve their social positions. They know that hate calls for hate. This is the universal law. And when government leaders begin to feed sectarian hatred between their own citizens and practice authoritarian political repression, we can qualify it as a neo-fascist state, because implement a national culture of the hatred against the difference, love, and at least blind respect for the authority. And that is happening right now in India. Actually, this classical example of Gujarat genocide and the recent result of the 16 parliamentary elections of the India highlight well that neo-fascism and authoritarian Hindutva projects which feed communal hatred and divide the poorest majority of the society are also promoted by the economic leader in our country in order to hide the implementation of economic policies of impunity, which is supposed to make India as an attractive country for the foreign investment and enrich both political and economic leaders. So we can say that all those political repressions, police torture, bureaucratic corruptions, economic exploitation of the human and the nature, and the rigid hierarchy of the social domination are allowed as much by the implementation of those social, political, and economic cognitive culture of impunity that by the external factors such as the dangerous cross culture of neoliberal policies and the sectarian neo-fascism. We have seen that all those problems which look apparently different are actually linked together in our country. We will see now that this multiplicity of the causes can be overcome together by creating a unity process, a people's one, what we are doing. We started united movement of the protest of this poorest majority will have enough power to fight in the non-violent way against the rich majority who has seen from too much time as unattackable, against the religious leader who feed hatred between and among the communities, are divided lower caste, and again other corrupt officials whose believe that they can wreak and abuse of the poor people with the impunity because they don't have the money to enforce their right to corrupt political regime in our country. Because the divide for better rule, politics has become institutions through the mind of caste and patriarchy in our country. What better answer than unification process of the lower caste from all religion and further unity with the progressive people born in the upper caste like us, who are against the caste system can we give to create a unified social movement against the Brahminical caste system and sectarian neo-fascism and neoliberal policies in our country. A union of the lower caste against the caste alienations, and the union of religion against the sectarian thinking, and union of the poor against the neoliberal policy, not against the democratic capitalism. All three fight lead by one community we named nowadays a Neo-Dalit movement. Dalit means a broken people. Neo-Dalit movement is a sign of the hope, honor, human dignity for the most marginalized people facing discrimination based on the race, caste, religion, and gender. The Nelson Mandela legacy is a path for our struggle of the Neo-Dalit movements to bring unity of the different community against the caste system, remnant of the feudal system, sectarian fascism, and the neoliberal policy in India through the reconciliation for justice, human dignity against the culture of immunity based on the silence, which is going to contribute in the prosperity and the pluralistic democracy in the world. Because every 6 people in the world is the Indian. So India, we are looking, India will contribute real prosperity and the pluralistic democracy in the world. And in that context, because I'm from Banaras, Amit is also from Banaras, and this Modi, my new prime minister, elected from my city. And there is a lot of fear. And then we organized a conference in the 9 August 2014. First time I went to met with the Sankaracharya. There is a 4 pope. Sankaracharya is like a Hindu pope. So there is a 4 pope, and one person is responsible for the two peat. When I went, 35 minutes, big internal discussion, he told, Lenin came, he's against Hindu religion because I'm converted as a Buddhist, because I born in the family of Rama and converted as a Buddhism. They don't like it. So, but I told, I'm not against the Hindu religion. We are against the upper caste Hindu and this culture, and then I'm talking, you look how the Islamic states and Al-Qaeda are creating problem for Islam. This RSS and Vishwa Hindu Parishad are going to create a problem for Hindu religion. It is your time. And very surprised, he sent his second in command. And I called to the bishop office. They are coming. Yeah, they are coming. Mufti of Banaras, Buddhist religion, 2,000 people in city. And he came first time in the history to oppose the RSS and Modi openly. And we put on online. And from there, every month, at least 4 protests against the Modi. And Modi is very afraid to come my city. Because my city is very important. Also, we are talking about that. Banaras is not only the place, holy city of the Hindu. It is the holy city of the pluralism and inclusiveness. Because Buddha gave the first sermon there. The 3 Tirthankar of Jain religion born and worked there. Kabir, Raidas, Sennai for the Sufi movements born and worked there. And also, the Islam is so much popular in Varanasi because a Persian poet came and he also lived in Banaras. In the last, I'm giving the Tagore's line, who received the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into the fragment by the narrow domestic walls, where the clear stream of the reason has not lost its way into the deadly deserts, send of the dead habit, into that heaven of the freedom, my father, let my country awake. Thank you.